Good morning, good evening, good night. It's Zom. Let's talk some gaming news. Nintendo Switch 2 has officially reported to have sold 3.5 million units in just 4 days. That is about equivalent to 1/4 of the entirety of Wii U sales. Of course, the Wii U was one of the worst consoles to ever perform by Nintendo, but I still thought it was neat enough to point out. To be honest, I didn't see this coming with backlash from the internet about its price point beforehand. Time and time again, we get faced with the fact that the internet is not an accurate representation of real life. This also indicates this is Nintendo's best-selling console. It is to beat the original Nintendo Switch by the end of the year if it passes 15 million. Now, for it to be the best-selling console of time is very close in contention. For comparison, the PS5 shipped, not sold, but shipped 3.4 million units in its first 4 weeks, therefore not really having the chance to go above and beyond due to COVID and its resulting stock shortages. Mario Kart World has also seen amazing numbers. It is reported to be outselling the original Switch's launch title, Zelda Breath of the Wild, by over 4 times in Japan. In fact, Japanese outlet Famitsu is reporting that Mario Kart World has sold 780,000 plus copies in Japan alone in its first 3 days. Of course, this also includes the copies of the game included bundle with the Switch 2. For Switch 2 sales in Japan, Famitsu reports for the first 4 days with over 947,000 units sold, now making it the fastest selling console in Japan, beating the previous record holder in the PlayStation 2 with just over 630,000 units sold. Here is a statement from Doug Bowser himself, the president and team head of Nintendo. We are thankful for the response and happy to see the fun they are already having with Nintendo Switch 2 as they explore new features and games that bring friends and family together in new ways. On to related news, Capcom sees Nintendo's keycards as disheartening. On my previous video, I talked about how keycards are bad because they are another step forward into not actually owning anything. Further proven by Capcom's physical game keycards being recorded as digital sales. One thing I didn't mention though is although developers have the option to actually have all the game data on their card, most do not do this. This is because there's only one size of 64 gigabytes available to developers. The only thing that is keeping the key cards to be the same as actual digital cells is that you can still share the key to other consoles. For example, lending your copy of a game to a friend and playing that game on their Nintendo Switch too. One of Mario Kart World's critiques is the transitions from one lap to another when racing online in versus mode. For example, racing on the track, first you'll have to travel to 2 checkpoints. When racing on the track, you'll have to travel to 2 checkpoints on the straight line-ish, highway-ish road before being able to actually drive on the track itself. For this reason alone, I think Sonic Racing Cross Worlds could draft Nintendo's system seller. Where Mario Kart World built its foundation on an open world, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds doubles down into a more traditional arcade-like experience. In an interview with the Sonic team lead, Takashi Iizuka states, "Yeah, with Mario Kart World, they did the whole open world racing. That's their new way of playing a Mario Kart game, and we really think it's great. Interesting direction for them to go in." And they continue, "They have tons of experience making racing games, and the whole focus about what we wanted to do from the very beginning was about taking that racing game and improving it and modernizing it and putting all these new fun, crazy ideas into what a racing game could be and developing that as our product." So even from the conceptual level, I think both titles are going in different directions and offering different experiences to people. So the design itself is fundamentally different, and I think this is a good thing. I think the more different, the better, but the foundation is still there. The foundation is still there. Adding on, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds will let you customize your vehicle from the front to the rear and wheels to the paint job and stickers to changing the horn sound itself. It looks promising. For me, the game looks pretty fun. I like the fact that there's a speedometer, a lot of elements reminiscent of Mario Kart. Like we said before, the foundation is there. For example, there's a mushroom-like item, there's a mega mushroom-like item, rings that act just like coins do, so on and so forth. So it's not going to be totally different, more so than a fresh modern take on an already existing kart racing genre. I do want to mention that you can play as Hatsune Miku. You can play as Hatsune Miku. So, in addition to the characters Steve, Alex Creeper from Minecraft, Joker from Persona, Ichiban from what I believe is the Yakuza series. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played Yakuza or any entry from the Yakuza series. SpongeBob Patrick, as well as Beat from Jet Set Radio. Switching over to Microsoft, Xbox has recently been giving away codes to redeem Gears of War Reloaded for free, as long as you are a Gears of War Ultimate Edition owner. Now, how I found out about this was Xbox DMing me one of their codes. I don't really remember purchasing Gears of War Ultimate Edition, but this was a nice surprise. The official message when receiving a code is as follows. As a thank you for being a Gears fan, we're offering owners of Gears of War Ultimate Edition, the digital, a free code for Gears of War Reloaded, playable on Xbox Series X, S, and PC. Redeem on console or xbox.com/redeem code. Gather your squad and get ready to crush the Locust on August 26th. There is a beta coming shortly before August 26th that isn't open but not really closed either. Basically, you must be a part of the Xbox ecosystem, so either you have Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass, own the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War, or have already pre-ordered Reloaded on any platform. And yeah, I forgot to mention that Gears of War is now a third-party game. Gonna be able to play that on PlayStation now, on PS5 to be more exact. The beta weekends are from June 13th to the 15th and June 20th to the 22nd. Classics like King of the Hill and Team Deathmatch will be available on the first weekend with 3 maps, with the following weekend adding more maps and modes. Let's conclude with some rapid fire news. Mind's Eye Studio brokenhearted over a super buggy launch. PlayStation already issuing refunds. This game has had plenty of crashes as well that seem to be due to a memory leak. This reminds me of Cyberpunk and how it launched in its disastrous state. If you guys remember Cyberpunk, I'm sure you guys do. It wasn't too long ago. I like to think. Steam reviews present itself mixed at first, but if you hover over, they'll read as 60% negative. Also has a user score of 2.9 on Metacritic. The developing studio Build a Rocket Boy issued the following statement. We are brokenhearted that not every player was able to experience the game as we intended. Our priority is optimizing performance and stability so that every player across every device can enjoy a high quality experience. And that just sucks for that studio and that game, because once you launch in its buggy state, even if you fix it, you're not going to get a lot of players coming back. Not a lot of players coming back unless you have this amazing game like Cyberpunk, which I don't think this is. On to other news, the latest entry to the Resident Evil series will not be in first or third person, but both. In an IGN preview with Matt Kim that had a hands-on experience, while it's not the most seamless way to change perspectives, the fact that Resident Evil Requiem lets you swap perspectives at all without needing to restart feels pretty revolutionary for the series. I personally like this. This seems really cool. I think there'll be moments in game where the best perspective will be in first person, and there'll be other moments in the game where the best perspective will be in third person, and to have that option is pretty perfect. Now, Capcom did flirt with this idea before in DLC for Resident Evil Village, but to come to a full-fledged experience is a great decision. On the sadder note, Bend Studio is having around 30% or around 40 people of its workforce laid off. This isn't all too surprising, as the cuts came shortly after Sony canceled 2 unannounced live service games, of which one was being produced by Bend Studio. This is unfortunate news considering Days Gone was never greenlit for a sequel, and now we have this To end it off on the lighter notes, it's officially confirmed Konami is working on a Silent Hill 1 remake with Blooper Team. Blooper Team has worked with Konami before with Silent Hill 2. With Silent Hill 2 receiving Metacritic scores of 87 on PC and 86 on PS5. It's no wonder this is in production. Konami states in a press release, the trust built upon the success of Silent Hill 2 laid the foundation for signing another agreement for a new project. The deal aligns with Blooper Team's strategic plan to expand its internal development division within a first-party framework. This is it. This is everything, guys. This is everything for this week's news. Thank you so much for watching.